Listen to the words. I feel sometimes like an orphan.
I feel all the time like an orphan.
Okay. What speaks in your chart when you say I feel?
The moon.
Good. The moon. I feel is the moon speaking. Then she said, I feel like an orphan. An orphan meaning what? Separate and isolated from everybody. And that's Saturn talking. You hear me? So when you hear those, you hear yourself speak, sometimes you look, say, my God, that's my chart talking. I'm just speaking my chart. She does that a lot. I've been with people sometimes. I remember picking up a hitchhiker one time. And my ex-wife and I were driving near the university and we picked him up. And he's talking to us and he kept saying the word circuitous. Circuitous. How many people use that word? I turned around and I said, you're a Piscean, aren't you? Pisces is the 12th sign. It says full circle, circuitous. I says, yours Pisces, are you? He says, the guy couldn't believe it. He said, how the hell you know that? I says, it's just the way you talk. I can pick that up. Sometimes people say, well, tell me my sign. I can't always do that. But if I listen to them long enough, pay attention and listen, I'll know their chart sometimes more than I'll know their sun sign. I'll know what's going on in their life. But I feel like an orphan. Perfect pronunciation of a Moon-Saturn conjunction. Have you got something today?
Yeah,
A little bit? By the way, I got a little message from you, from my spirit.
Aww.
No, I do. I have a very powerful message for you.
Didn't I just ask for somebody to give me a message?
Yeah.
Thank you. I said I pointed to him.
Yeah. I didn't
Ask
realize
and you'll
you said
receive.
that. I didn't catch
Yeah.
that. But no. I see a blessed life ahead of you. I see love and I see romance and I see fulfillment.
That would be nice.
I see good things for you.
That would be
I
nice.
do. I see wonderful things for you. I really do. I don't want to make your day.
Because I have to tell you, you made me a little nervous last week because I thought he kind of gave me a look like one of those, like, oh boy. And I was like, oh my God, he didn't want to tell me. You
No.
know, I was like, oh my God, one of those, like, oh wow.
No.
One of those kind of cases.
You ask my wife, she's been around me for 23 years, and she'll tell you, I don't tell people anything
But
like
you know
that.
what was really scary was like, I had a dream, but having, like, my dreams are crazy, but I've only been starting to remember them lately. So I had this dream about a car accident, and I know that it had to be from talking about it in here. And I mean, it was so profound, and then I actually woke up in the morning with the back of my neck was like really sore, that I was probably like tensed in it.
Wow,
And then it scared me, and I was like, oh no, hell no.
that's funny.
Like, he didn't want to tell me about the
No,
car.
no.
But then, you know, that made me, it was really, then I went and I said, let me just, and I looked in my wallet and my insurance card was expired. So I said, well, let me go print one out. By a technicality, my insurance had been canceled 2 weeks ago. So that ended up being good because I was driving around with no car insurance. But it's just really weird.
good.
A little thing that they say, and it was like,
Can trigger it all, yeah.
yeah, you're a car accident.
Well, you have when you're born with Mars in what we call quincunx aspect to Mercury. Okay, which is an affliction between Mars and Mercury. Mercury rules communication, transportation. Mars is in your 8th house, it's in Capricorn, and it's afflicting it by a mild aspect. It's not the worst, it's not like a square in
Now,
opposition.
doesn't that have the same as Sherry, like the Pluto in the 5th, isn't that your first
Yeah,
child?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm concerned about my first daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Leo, and you're in same thing as hers exactly.
Yeah.
And it's in Leo, and it's your chart is because you're born at a very northern latitude. Belfast. I didn't know Belfast was that high on latitude. The reason I can tell you got interceptions. You got Taurus intercepted in the 12th, and Scorpio in the 6th. They're opposite. They're going to also be intercepted, but it changes the view of everything. So most charts you can see a square real easy. In your case, the sun and moon are in square, but look at how close they look in this chart. There's Pluto, there's the moon. They don't look like square, do they? But you know it by Scorpio and Leo square.
Right.
But if you look, you'd expect the moon, Pluto to be way down here. 90 degrees, right? 3 signs.
Right.
So you get this.
This is a whole lot more than the newspaper, Ron. The newspaper daily horoscope.
I hope so. I hope so, my
Thank
dear.
you. Thank you so much.
Well, you know, sometimes, you know, we have groups. We've been very blessed, haven't we? The last group we had was so loving and such a beautiful group, and everybody's so open here, you know, and that's what makes it happen, you know, the dynamics. And, you know, it's 6, but I just want to thank you all, you know, for making this happen. It's so enlivening for me, you know what I mean? It really is. It's what my heart's about, my soul's about. and you make it possible for me
Well,
to.
no, I was actually praying for something like this because I had a very wonderful mentor, spiritual mentor up north for all these years. I mean, she literally, what I learned from her really has gotten me through everything in my life, you know what I mean? And so I was looking for one down here and I found this place in Del Rey, but the guy just didn't feel right to me. You know, like it just something about him, it just didn't feel like honest or like sincere. So then I stopped going there, and it's like you have to have somewhere, you know, something that kind of, that where you get this in a group, because it's the group energy too.
Isn't it though?
You know what I mean? So this is wonderful, because I was actually praying for some kind of a something, where it was a genuine, like I noticed that you're a very kind and genuine spirit. You are, you could feel it.
Thank
You could feel it, you know?
Well, you know, one of the things that I really do believe, you know, there's scripture says, where there's 2 or 3 gathered in my name, there I am also.
That's right.
And when I'm in a group, I can feel that sometimes, that spirit. And that's why when I make prophecy, like even the one I made to you, it may sound simplistic, but ask Elena. I never tell anybody anything doesn't come to pass. I've never, ever, ever, ever
Yes.
not seen the future. And clearly when I'm
So
giving a
how,
message,
like, how reaching in the future is that gonna be?
everything from this day on is going to change. you
That's
know.
great. I mean, I do feel a lot. I feel a lot. I bet what I went through was a whole total change of life.
Yeah,
And it's just so nice to be on the other side of it, to see the gifts
yeah.
of that darkness. And, you know, like you were saying, it just hit a chord in me when you said you were lucky. You said, maybe I was lucky because I've traveled around the world and you've seen different poverty. And it really is true. Like, unless you get yourself in a certain situation. I mean, I was a nurse. I was never wealthy, but I could always earn a living. If you're willing to go work, there's 24-hour work 7 days a week, no matter where you are. So for me to have to think that I wouldn't have basics, that never entered into my mind.
Yeah.
But then when you get in a position like that, you know, and it just makes you so much aware. Like, and I remember one day I said to myself, there's been women with kids living like this all around me. And you're not even aware of it, you know, and it's not really your fault because if you don't know any better, you don't know any different, but an experience like that stretches you
That's right.
to be more compassionate, and at the end of the day, everyone just wants to be heard and seen, like figuratively seen.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you remember
that's
remember Tommy, what was it, the song? Hear me, see me, touch me, feel me. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
It's how we all are. We're all looking for the same thing. We're looking for love. I mean, and I love that song. I was in prison when I used to listen to that. I had some really good earphones. I had some good music. I never forgot that song. I used to listen to it over and over again. Tommy, what a message too. And some music and some musicians had such a gift for touching people's lives. Anyway, enough of this.
That was
spent
great.
3 hours of wonderful time together. I really
Yeah,
look forward to
love
seeing
it.
you next week. Do your studies, please. Study. If you have any questions, ever call me. I'm open.
Here's the money for this book, Ron.
Huh?
I wrote the money this week.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Welcome.
Okay.
Did you have a treat?
Yes,
Yeah, it was really good.
yes, there's amazing 1 minute left here. Amazing. 1 minute left.